Blade got his buffs finally, so I'm gonna try him out. Uh, so I received a comment wondering where I went, and I didn't really go anywhere. I still play the game. It's just I lacked motivation to create any videos because the direction Star Rail is going makes it hard to be creative. I like games where the players are incentivized to come up with their own solutions to problems, but it feels like Star Rail, especially, is going in a direction where the devs themselves are trying to point players towards the solution. Or I guess it's more like they create the solution first and then try to create problems with that solution in mind. And I guess that's fine, but for someone who likes to play with different teams, unconventional teams, it's harder and harder to make those work when a character is released with a dedicated support in mind, or in the pipeline, or already released. And it's hard to come up with interesting strategies when relic sets teammates are already tailor-made for your character, when certain bosses are made to shill a certain character. And yeah, it just feels like a lot of the interesting creativity from the early versions of Star Rail, like versions 1 through maybe even early version 2, is like back then I saw so many weird showcases with units that I've never thought about building. And maybe it's because we know much more about the game, but I think it's more so the disparity between new units and older units, which they tried to solve by buffing these older characters, but yeah, I don't know. There's still something that bothers me about the direction Star Rail is going. And if you've seen leaks about the future HP changes to endgame modes, they're not slowing down the HP inflation. And you could tell me that it's because of boss mechanics and the the buffs themselves being much more powerful than in the past. But like my current team that I'm using right now, compared to the team I used to Zero Cycle a year and a half ago, this team outputs so many times more damage than that Zero Cycle team from a year and a half ago, and yet it's gonna take multiple times more cycles to complete this MOC. So I'm dealing multiple times more damage, and then I'm clearing MOC multiple times slower. It just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like my account is getting stronger at all. Instead, it feels like all this effort that I'm making to increase the strength of my account is actually making my account weaker. And also, in tandem with me feeling weaker and weaker, it also feels like the options I have at my disposal are getting more and more funneled towards very, very linear choices. Either I have the character that I need to clear this, or I don't. And it just doesn't feel good to me to play a game like that. And so because it doesn't feel good to play, it also doesn't feel good to create content for it. As for where I've actually been, I started getting into the One Piece card game. It's quite fun. I'm currently playing Blue Yellow Nami. It's not the best deck right now, and I don't know if it'll ever become a best deck because of kind of how the leader works. She has an identity crisis where part of her identity is about being aggressive and taking life, whereas the other part of her identity is about being defensive. And so there's a mismatch there, and I feel like she's one of those trying to be a jack of all trades but ends up as a master of none. Other than that, I got back into climbing. I injured my finger about a year ago. I was on an overhang crimp and I pulled my A3 pulley, and just recently I decided to get back into climbing, so I've been slowly working my way back up the grades. My gym doesn't use V grades anymore, so I don't actually know what my level is. So I'm gonna be trying to focus more on climbing the kilter board. We recently got a kilter board at my gym, and so I think that'd be a good way to benchmark where I am at the moment. But that's kind of where I am at. If I get some sparks of inspiration, I'll make more videos. But yeah, at the moment, there's not much that kind of interests me right now in Star Rail.